This credit game, I keep hearing people talking about credit, banks, CPNs, all different type of stuff, right? And so people are starting to connect the dots. So people are saying, okay, learning about credit, because once you learn about credit, light bulbs started. Because once you know about something else and you say, okay, I can do this and do that, then people start doing things. That's how any type of fraud or any type of scam happens. No, most of the time people aren't looking to like looking for a way like, man, I need to come up with a fraud or some type of scam to make some money. No, it doesn't work like that. Most of the time when people start to make a lot of money and come up with these scams, it's because somebody told them about something or presented something that a light bulb went off in their head. I'm finna roll a king size organic hemp vibes. So like, let me give y'all an example. So like Matthew Cox, he was working at or owned a title company, a mortgage company, a loan place, and all that. And this woman came in and she turned in her documentations. Her W-2s had a social security number that was different from her application. So they called her back in to get like see why she had two different social security numbers. But when he asked her about it, she was like, "Oh yeah, okay," like it was nothing. So he asked her, "Why do you have two?" And she told him she was married. So and her husband ran up all the credit on their credit. So her name, they was doing, co-signing everything together, doing everything together. So the credit was so bad on her married name that she went back to her maiden name and used her son's social security number to create a whole new profile. So once she created that whole new profile and she told him this information, a light bulb went off in his head because the previous information that he knew already about things, and her telling him this, he already said, okay, so I can literally come up with a new person and get loans. Okay. So she not knowing that she telling him what all she did is giving him the sauce. So the lady basically gave him the sauce, like, yeah, so I used my son's social security number, I got an ID, I got a new profile, and what I did was I applied for unsecured credit cards because people see this is all what do with credit, and people don't be understanding. Once you learn about something, a light bulb, and you start learning loopholes and stuff. So like I told y'all before, and it all revolves around credit. Credit is the number one money game in the world. So instead of when people don't understand, you can get secured credit cards, and secured credit cards are basically credit cards that you get using your own money, but it's going to be on your credit report as a credit card. As long as you make payments each month on that credit card, or the payments, the minimum balance, whatever, it's going to build your credit. So what she basically did was by her getting these secured credit cards, it generated a credit score for that new profile that she had, and it was building the credit because she was literally paying on it each month, but she didn't even know. So then she said eventually, like a couple of months later, she just went to go like check the credit, and the credit was like a 650, 680. The credit score was high on this new profile. So that gave him a light bulb, and that made him start creating synthetic identities. And y'all all can go watch Matt Cox, and we already watched the videos, but that goes to show you that people are starting to learn that when it comes to anybody that's trying to get some money, doing anything, why do all these methods and these quote unquote scams and whatever when you can literally walk in the bank and ask for some money and they'll give it to you? And people are starting to understand that. So people are starting to say, okay, they got these profiles, and with the profile is basically somebody else's information that you have, and you have a fake ID. So it's a profile. So people are saying, okay, I can get this person's information, create a fake ID with my picture on it, and basically be this person. And we all know it's a lot of hacking going on. It's a lot of fraud going on. People getting text messages, smishing. That's called smishing. When people send out SMSs, that's text messages, acting like you owe money with the tolls, acting like it's something going on with your bank. Like them weird random calls, potentially spam, potentially fraud, scam likely, all them. Those are scammers, and how they're getting your number is it was a data leak, and they just calling every phone number that they can, and whoever falls for it falls for it. You got to think they call over. You got 100 people working in this call center, and each one calling at least 1,000 people each week. That's 1,000,000 people. How many people do y'all think gonna actually fall for this out of 1,000,000 people? Over 100,000 people, and you got to think about all the like. It's a lot going on, and people don't be woke to what's going on. So, like I said, people are starting to utilize credit towards fraud. So what people are doing is they saying, okay, it's banks that give out signature credit cards. So that's basically starter credit cards. So it might be $5,000, it might be $10,000. It just all depends on the bank. Every bank does not have the same qualifications. Every bank does not have the same loan programs. Every bank does not have the same credit card programs. Every bank does not have the same requirements to get a loan, credit card, or line of credit. Most banks, when you open up a new bank account and you apply for a signature card, more than likely, and depending on your credit, like I said, their people are using profiles. They're using somebody else's information to open up these bank accounts. So the information that they're giving the bank teller is somebody else's social security number. So all their credit score is basically on this profile. And so they're applying for these signature cards and getting approved for them. And they're going to open up as many bank accounts as they can to get these signature credit cards. Now, knowing credit cards, people know that you can get cash advances from credit cards. That's how the rich get rich when it comes to business credit. See, a lot of people don't see this is all information that people don't know that's going on. A lot of people don't understand that people, when it comes to business and credit cards, y'all be seeing all these people on Instagram and TikTok and YouTube, all these credit gurus with these houses and cars and things like that with a lot of money. I'd be like, how do people be wondering, like, how do they get this money? So you got to understand, once you build your business credit, you can start getting business credit cards. And it's not hard to increase the credit limit on your business account or your personal account. So if you raise your credit limit on your business account, you get 10 credit cards for that's $100,000 on each of them. You literally can go get a cash advance off each credit card for $50,000. Now you have $500,000 in cash. And as long as you pay that monthly bill or on that credit card, it's going to recoup. So now you got another, every month you're gonna have a recouped $100,000 or what's that, $1 million in credit that you getting $50,000 off each credit card in cash. And y'all all know you pay credit card bills with other credit cards. So if you got 10 credit cards, each credit card not gonna be due at the same month. So this month these two might be due, so you're gonna use these two credit cards. The next month these two might be due, or three, so you're gonna use these three credit cards. You're just gonna keep swapping them out, paying debt with debt and making money. That's how the rich get rich and why the poor stay poor, because they're understanding credit. Now a lot of people are starting to understand credit and how you can leverage cash off credit cards, and it's easy to get a credit card. So if you go get you 10 credit cards, Visa signature credit cards from these different banks, and they all got $6,000 limits, and you getting cash advance for $3,000 here, $5,000 here, you're gonna make some money off these profiles by getting these cards and cash advance. And that's what a lot of people are starting to do. They start to understand, like, I'm not gonna be trying to do this difficult swiping and using these tools that I never did before. They're not doing that. People are really, what to do, burning boost boot camp. People want to figure out the easiest way to make the most. People want to figure out the cheapest way to make the most. And when you got somebody that's actually trying to do that, their brain comes up with the most craziest things and ways to do things that the average American wouldn't be able to do. That's why when people go to jail, they come out as fantastic artists, because they have nothing to do but to draw all day. And they be in there so long and they draw and they just get cold at it. You got people who come out extra smart in jail because they got nothing to do but read and think. And that's how it is. When you got nothing but time and your mind is on something, you're going to dive in deep into it and you're going to learn about it. You're going to start leveraging. So people are starting to utilize credit and commit certain different methods. Just like with the PPP loan. That should have been a testimony right there that people are really building synthetic identities and fake companies under CPNs and getting millions of dollars in loans. People are utilizing credit more than anything else right now to get loans and commit fraud and all different types of stuff. See, a lot of people don't know, like, white people utilize credit as fraud. White people not doing white collar people in the higher upper lines, in the higher branches, like, they not doing credit card fraud and check. No, they doing Ponzi schemes. They doing all the higher to get millions and billions of dollars, but you're not hearing about this type of stuff. When the last time you heard about some corporate person making millions off some type of scam or Ponzi scheme in the news or something. You don't hear about this type of stuff. Like y'all don't be hearing about none of this type of stuff because they don't be getting caught. Because they know by them having enough knowledge and resources about something, they know the loopholes, they know what to do. So technically, they're not doing anything wrong. And then people look at it like, oh, how did they get so much money? How did they? Because they learned the loopholes. They learned about credit. They learned people know about CPN. Donald Trump was using a CPN. I told y'all this 6 years ago. I literally told y'all 6 years ago on my other page, Milwaukee Made King Hustle. That was my original page. Donald Trump was using a CPN and only paid $750 in taxes. Matter of fact, we live on Milwaukee Made King Hustle right now. For anybody that's on this channel that was here 6 years ago, y'all already know. I've been told y'all Donald Trump, celebrities, a lot of people use CPNs. You gotta think about it. Somebody getting out the witness protection program and they getting a CPN, a whole new identity. Why wouldn't they be able to get us loans, credit cards, and lines of credit? There's nothing saying, oh, it's going to pop up in the system saying this is a CPN. We can't give you a loan. No, it's not saying none of that. And people are starting to understand that and realize like, oh, well, you can do that because they did it. Why wouldn't somebody else? And then people starting to come up with figure out clever ways to get new numbers for these CPNs, and they doing whatever they do. It's people out here that's been using CPNs for almost 20 years. It's people that's been using CPNs but don't even know they're using a CPN. They just trying to do something that listen, when parents use kids, when parents put bills in their kids' name, they're basically using a CPN. And when that child turns 18, all they gotta do is report it and it's gonna get taken off because at the end of the day, they're gonna be like, that wasn't me. How am I gonna get a bill in my name when I was 6 years old? It's impossible. It wasn't me. So that's all it is. So the people be knowing that, so they say, I'm just gonna put this in my kid name. But they don't know what they actually doing. They're building a whole new credit profile with this kids. So that when people go get bills in their kid's name, and they use they might say, okay, they might use their kid name, but use their birthday and stuff. Like the parent birthday, but use the social security. Because listen, it's multiple people in the world with the same name, same birthday. There's no way for the government to be like, wait a minute, how is it two John Smiths born on this day in the same age? It happens. It's the world. Like, it's multiple people in the world with the same name and the same birthday. Just how it is. I know at least 4 or 5 Jasmine Smiths or Jasmine Williams. I know we all know a couple Jasmine Smiths and Jasmine Williams. What's another common name? Or like